My brothers and sisters, what is going on? Still sermon in the house. It's early Thanksgiving morning, and if you're watching this video right now, it's premiering on Black Friday, which means I'm probably out in the store Christmas shopping right now. This was the only time I could carve out to get it. Tight schedule for me. Thanksgiving is always hectic. Before I start, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Links are posted in the box down below. Hope each and every single one of you's had a great holiday. Hope you got to spend time with your family. Just enjoy yourselves and just have a good holiday. So, this is my preview for the Steelers and the Colts in Indianapolis. Monday Night Football coming up. And I'm going to start off with the usual. Mike Tomlin, it's one thing to be a bad football team, but it's another thing to be a bad football team and have your head coach just be completely careless and oblivious what's going on with this team. And that is what Mike Tomlin is doing. And yeah, I'm getting on him at the beginning of this video because he was asked about the lack of development or lack thereof development with this team. And instead of giving an honest answer and instead of saying, well, you know, some players on this team just need to do this and overall I've seen some progression, you know, he's going to come out and say that he, quote, is not concerned or frustrated in any way with the lack of development with this team. Really, Mike? You're not concerned with the lack of development with this team? So you're not concerned that Kenny Pickett's going out there and he's still trying to force a couple of passes. He's still making a few rookie mistakes. You're not concerned if he's going to be able to develop into a starter? You're not concerned that Najee Harris is not going to be able to stop dancing around with players, and now he's had 2 back-to-back 90-yard games, which were the best games of his season so far. You're not concerned about that? You're not concerned about the most expensive friggin' defense in the NFL getting gashed by backups, getting destroyed by 6-string wide receivers. You're not concerned about any of that, Mike? Some friggin' leader you are. I mean, I sit down here in this bedroom and I sit over there in that living room and I show more concern with the damn development with this team than you do. And that is absolutely pathetic because I do this part-time for fun. Not concerned about the development or the lack of development with this team. Wow. And players around the NFL, coaches around the NFL, this is the guy that you want to play for? This is the guy that you're dying to play for? The guy that you have the utmost respect for? Because it's apparent Tomlin don't give a crap about his own team and he don't give a crap about you. No concern about the lack of development. What a slap in the face to some of the young players on this team that are trying to make a name for themselves. This team just continues to get more and more laughable, man. I don't know what else to say. Tomlin's going to come out here and say that he's not concerned with the lack of development. Well, let me tell you, I'm very concerned with the lack of development. You took this guy, Kenny Pickett, 20th overall in the draft, and you put him in the second half back in week 4 against the New York Jets because he is supposed to be our franchise quarterback of the future. And you're not concerned that he has a passer rating of just over 71%. You don't want to see that improve. You don't want to see him cut down on the interceptions. You don't want to see him utilize the QB sneaks more. You don't want to see him use QB rollouts. You don't want to see him take chances down the field if he gets a new offensive coordinator. You don't want to see the development of George Pickens going from a rookie sensation to being possibly a true number one receiver on this team. You don't want to see Najee Harris continue to progress and build off of the 2 best games of the season. You don't want to see Jalen Warren battle for the RB1 spot. You don't want to see anyone on the secondary learn from past mistakes or, put Terrell Edmonds, for the love of our Lord, put Terrell Edmonds as a strong safety and come in with safety package blitzes. You don't want to see corner safety stepping up. You don't want to see anyone on this offensive line develop. You don't want to see any of that, or you're not concerned about it, Mike. That is the greatest offense to any Steeler fan. Not just me, to any Steeler fan. Anyway, you take a look at a team like the Indianapolis Colts. And just for that, there are going to be no keys to victory this week. Because A, I don't expect us to win this game. And B, just because of that backhanded passive-aggressive jab right there by Tomlin. I don't care about progression. I'm not concerned about the lack of development on this team. Okay, Mike, I'll show you how careless I can be. Come up with your own friggin' game plan for this. For real. Let's see what you got. Because you look at this Colts team, it's virtually identical to us. They're not real good at scoring either. I mean, we're a terrible offensive scoring team. Don't get that mistaken. Indianapolis ain't much better, though. So I think that's something that we should take advantage for this game. But our defense gave up 37 points at home to the Cincinnati Bengals when they didn't have Jamar Chase in that game. And Joe Mixon eventually got hurt, and I think he's still being looked at for a concussion protocol. But most expensive defense in the league can't stop frickin' Samaje P. Ryan or whatever the hell his name is. How do you think we're going to stop Jonathan Taylor? A guy that averages 4.6 yards per carry this season. And around this time last year, everyone was saying this guy should be in the MVP talks. Our rush defense was so up and down against the Bengals last week. Yeah, there were times where we stopped Joe Mixon in the backfield, but more often than not, it was inconsistent as hell, especially when P. Ryan went out there. And I think he had, 3 touchdowns on us? Burrow had 4 touchdown passes on the day against us. Indianapolis, they're more of a defensive team like we are. They feed off of their pass rush. They like to, penetrate the offensive line. This offensive line is screwed, man. Going up against DeForest Buckner and Shaq Lawson, those 2 guys that are the heartbeat of that front that the Colts got over there. Wow. But don't worry, Dan Moore is going to continue to hold on to every single lineman that he goes up against. And, maybe Mason Cole, if he's healthy for this game, he'll have a false start or something. But Mike Tomlin isn't concerned about that at all. You look at Indy with their quarterback situation. Their quarterback situation's a mess too. They've brought in a bunch of fill-ins ever since Andrew Luck retired. Phillip Rivers was there for a little bit. Jacoby Brissett was there for a little bit. Carson Wentz was there last year. Now I got Matt Ryan, who's rounding third and heading home with his career. Michael Pittman, a high-volume catcher. He's easily their best target, and once they get him involved, their offense gets a little bit more fluidity there. And then, of course, you take a look at other contributing factors like Pierce, guys like Yannick Ngakoue and Butler up on the front, lockdown corners like Stephon Gilmore. And with Jalen Warren dealing with a hamstring and Cole and Mason Cole having limited practice time this week, this is recipe for disaster right here. I don't know how this team is going to put points up on the board against a stout defense like that and an offense that just doesn't have it. I don't give a crap if we are 25-6 all time against these guys. I don't give a crap if we have not lost to these guys since 2008 when Peyton Manning was here. I don't care. What matters is right now. And right now, this team is just a reflection of their freaking head coach. We don't care about our lack of development. We don't care about our lack of progress. We don't care about anything. All we give a damn about is just collecting a paycheck, calling it a day, and we'll just, reminisce about our 6 freaking Lombardis. This organization has become lazy. They've become careless. They really have. There's not I'm not going to say that. There are very, very few players on this team that deserve to wear these colors, deserve to don this logo. And that's why I'm wearing a Mean Joe Green jersey here. Because maybe Mean Joe Green ought to get in these guys' faces and tell them what it really means to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Outside of guys like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, Najee, outside of those guys, there's not one player on this team that gives any shred of a crap about improvement. Not one. And it's a reflection of coaching. Because if Tomlin doesn't care about the development, the players are not going to care about development. If Tomlin's only interested in about, taking a press conference and, pulling out his thesaurus and seeing what big words he can use, then that's what the players are going to care about. They're going to care about how much money they get in their paycheck. They're going to care about what they can post on TikTok. They're going to care about what they can post on Instagram. They're going to care about what they can say to a reporter that, for a comment that'll go viral and everyone can roast them for it. If you're a fan who's not who's a football fan who's not a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, let me ask you guys a question, all right? Are you scared of the Steelers at all? Are you? If your team plays the Pittsburgh Steelers in these final 7 weeks of the season, are you honestly saying, oh man, we got to play the Pittsburgh Steelers? That's going to be a real hard game. We got to give it their all. If you are saying that, you are either lying to yourself or you are not watching this team play. Because I can guarantee you, not one freaking team in this league fears us right now, except for maybe Houston, maybe Carolina, maybe Denver. I don't know. But I can tell you, a good 28 other teams in this league, they see us on their schedule, they laugh. They're not scared of us. Because what they do is that what they think to themselves is, oh, we got to play these guys. All we got to do is score 14, 21 points on them, and they're going to do stuff like try a flea flicker or run a freaking draw play on 3rd and 25. In other words, they're going to wave the white flag when things don't go their way. That's what those teams think. And you can sit back and say, oh, this guy's a young fan. He wasn't around for the 80s. You know what? Kiss my ass. It doesn't mean that just because this is the worst freaking Steeler team that I've seen since 2003, the second time this team's going to have a losing season in my fandom, that don't mean I have to like it. That don't mean I have to go like, oh, well, I knew this was going to come anyway. I've seen a lot of great Steeler teams in the Big Ben era. No, you can miss me with that. Because I will sit down here and I will say what's on my mind about this team right now. And I will always speak the truth about them. And right now, the fact of the matter is, this team is 3-7. They don't try hard. And they are a bunch of gutless, cowardly, pathetic, soft losers. Is what this team is. And I'm almost thrilled, actually, that I won't be able to watch this game Monday night. I can only listen to it on the radio at work. Maybe it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise for that. Anyway, Steelers and Colts. Game could go either way, honestly. It really could. But I'm not really expecting much, as usual, from the offense. It's going to come down to defense in this game. That's only because both these offenses are absolute garbage and can't do anything. So that's what this game's going to come down to pretty much. I mean, the Colts got Jeff Saturday as their head coach now, and it seems like that they like playing for him. And it's obvious that these guys don't respect Mike Tomlin, because Mike Tomlin don't respect them. So I think that's the biggest X factor in this one, is that it comes down to coaching. What do you know? I'm sitting down here and saying 2 games in his coaching career, Jeff Saturday already is a more respectful coach than Tomlin is. A guy who's been our head coach for 16 years. That is absolutely pathetic. I don't know what else to say. Go out there and shut me up. Please. Shut me up. Show some pride in yourself. Show that you care so much that you're this bad. You make all this money. You're the most expensive defense in the league. And that you suck this deep into the season. Show that you care. Show some fire. Don't just lie down and die like the losers that you are. Go out there and give some effort. Would it kill you to do that? For real. That's really all I got to say. 17 and a half minutes of me shouting in this video. I think that's enough. As always, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is Steel Sermon. Check it on out for the night. May God be with you all.